Hi guys, Paul Tasha Scale Modeller. So today I got a review of Eduard's brand new Good Morning Da Nang F4 Phantom. It's a 1/48 scale using Academy's F4 Phantom kit as the base. The Academy kits are now have been a cracking Phantom kit, so with Eduard adding their extras, the brassing, resin, photo etch, canopy mask, etc. It makes an already good kit great. I've had a very quick look in the box and it looks absolutely superb. I haven't opened anything cool because, you know, I like to open everything on camera. But from what I've seen inside, it looks like an absolutely superb kit. Box art, lovely as you can see, and it just looks an outstanding kit. So what we'll do, we'll head over to the workbench and we'll get started with the review.
Roger, from coming in from the southeast. I have you in sight now. Not just temperature, maybe to 3 o'clock, slightly high.
Well, you know you're on yet, but the target from my position now is about 11 or 12 o'clock, about 1 mile in the valley over there.
You go ahead and mark it, and I'll give you a start. Is it right about where that smoke is coming up from right now?
Okay, it's about a mile down the valley to the east from that smoke.
In the military action in Vietnam, a squadron of fighter aircraft has been called on for close support of a Marine company held up by punishing enemy fire from an abandoned village. Guided by the small observation plane close above the green battlefields of Vietnam, the Marine airstrike dives on target. A Viet Cong strong point has been broken by the precise application of air power, a vital part of this unusual war in which the political, economic, and psychological factors demand as much consideration as the military. Now the men of Lima Company, 1st Marines, are able to move forward because of the skillful use of an aircraft superbly adapted to supporting the riflemen in ground combat, the F4B all-weather fighter, the Phantom. Empty racks show hundreds of pounds of destruction have been delivered to the enemy. Now, Condal 83 heads for home. This is the flight leader, Lieutenant Colonel A.W. O'Donnell. The flight is part of Marine Squadron BMFA 323. Colonel O'Donnell is the skipper. Da Nang 323's home port is a main American base. Every day, this Center for Tactical Air Support launches and retrieves hundreds of combat sorties. Back at Da Nang, the aircraft of Condal 83 become geared to a fast-moving ground operation. They've got to be ready for the next mission whenever it comes. On the empty racks of the F4Bs go deadly air-to-ground missiles, pods of rockets, the 1,000-pounders they call iron bombs. When these aircraft go out, they'll be carrying a full load of trouble for the Viet Cong. A mainstay of Marine Corps air operations in Vietnam is the KC-130, called Hercules. Its principal assignment is air-to-air refueling, so when Hercules teams up with the Phantom, It's not something new on TV. It's a technique that adds hundreds of miles to the range of the F4B. With it, attack aircraft can provide constant top cover for the troops fighting below.
Ready, Congo. Congo 83-1, estimating off with 4 at 18. Over. Roger, take here.
As long as this bitter conflict continues, those who fly in Vietnam, Marines and Navy, as well as Army and Air Force, will devote their full strength, courage, and skill to stay on target for ultimate victory.
Okay, so like I say, fantastic box art, real nice rendition of an F4 Phantom there. Absolutely iconic aircraft, the F4, one of my favourites. On the side we've got all the decal schemes available, so it's showing 5 on the side. We'll have a look at them all when we come to the actual decal sheet itself. And on the other side is a quick overview of all the Eduard brassing extras you get in the kit, which look absolutely superb. It's a large box, especially for 148th. Not a small aircraft in 148th the Phantom, not the biggest, but certainly not the smallest. As we can see, plenty of plastic in there, so what we'll do, we'll get all the plastic out. I'll put everything to one side. I'll do it my usual way, going through systematically. Now that's an excellent touch. We'll get to that in a little bit, but that's very, very nice. Let's get the same on some seam lines, that's for sure. So there's all the plastic. I've got an instruction book, the decals, the photo etch, and the mass set as well. So again, we'll pop all this out of the way, put it on the floor. And there we go. So we'll start off with what I've just seen, which looks absolutely superb, and that's a fuselage. So the fuselage halves are together, which is a real nice touch. Obviously helps massively reducing seam lines, because if I open it quickly, heat seal bags, which I'm a fan of, you all know that. So top part of the fuselage, like I say, all pre-molded, so all you got to do is literally glue that onto the wing sections and you're done. So there's no top fuselage seam to deal with. I built the Hasegawa kit and I'm pretty sure it was 2 fuselage halves together, so that's a real nice touch. Surface detail is very nice. Plastic is a little bit grainy on the Academy kit. It's not the smoothest, but it's not going to be any problem really at all. All the panel lines are nice, they're not too deep. If you can see them there, I'll zoom in a little bit so you can see. Let me get the background, there we go. Oh, there she goes. So as you can see, panel lines are there, they're lovely and detailed, as too is the riveting on the side. You can see it all along here. Really nice. It's not overdone, it's just right, just the right depth. The panel lines aren't trench-like at all, and the surface detail is really nice. Can't fault that at all. All the way through, there's no vague points or anywhere where the detail's soft. That's really good, very nice. Excellent, I like that being one piece, I think that's great. It's going to save a lot of time and it's going to give you a better end result as well. Obviously because you're saving on a seam line, that'll save you rescribing, re-riveting it, what have you, so that's a real nice touch. Very impressed by that. I'm going to put that to one side safe, I'm not putting that on the floor. That's what I tend to do with all my sprues when I'm reviewing. Put them in the box on the floor, but sods all, I'll get up and stand on it. Right, so we got, looks like the bottom and top wing sections. So we'll start with this bit. And again, as before, surface details really, really nice. The riveting's really crisp. Panel lines aren't overdone. They're just deep enough to hold a wash. So they're going to show for a real nice once you get a wash in there. And as I say, the riveting's not overdone. It's not soft. It's really nice. Like I said, the plastic it's got a strange texture on it. I don't know if the camera will pick it up. If I can get the angle right so you can catch the light. It looks as though it's rough, but it's not. But it's not perfectly smooth. Once you get a coat of primer on there, a couple of layers of paint, it's not going to be a drama on here. But again, surface details lovely on that. Really, really nice. So that must be the upper wing surfaces. This will be the lower. So you've got the landing gear, bays, and again, excellent surface detail. Really, really nice. Quite impressed by that. We've got landing gear bay doors by the look of it. Yeah, landing gear struts, which are nicely detailed again as well. So they're real nice. They're going to look really nice once painted up, weathered and what have you. They're going to show a lot of detail. Trying to see what else we've got on here. There's various parts. I'm not 100% sure what they are. They're all obviously surfaces of the aircraft, but they've all got this lovely riveting detail on. That is absolutely superb. For an Academy kit, which cannot always be the best, but I've heard a lot of good things about this Phantom, and that looks absolutely superb. Surface detail is really, really nice. I'm quite impressed by it. Like I say, I built a Hasegawa kit of this, and that's an expensive kit on its own. I think that's about a £55 kit on its own. And I've built up really, really nice, and this looks on par with it, if not better, to be honest. So that's nice to see. I'm just going to pick the sprues at random. I haven't got them in any particular order. So we're going to get them really near. We've got a drop tank, forward part of the nose, the under part, which again's got that lovely surface detail on. Got the intakes, two-piece obviously, but you know, a bit of glue, a bit of filler, not really a problem. And I guess if you wanted to, you could upgrade them as well at some point. And again, we've got various control panels and surfaces. I'm not going to pretend what they are because I don't. We've got a pilot figure, which he's got some quite nice detail. If I zoom in for this one, I've got the camera quite high today because all of these sprues are quite big. You see, he's got quite a good detail. There's a bit of flash on him, I will admit that. And there's his arms with his helmet. That's a nice touch as well. Yeah, he's got his helmet tucked under his arm, which is real nice. There is a bit of flash on there. It is only on that pilot though. I can't see it anywhere else. But get a sanding sponge on there and what have you, and you'll soon get rid of that. But the pilot's quite well detailed. He's got a pair of aviator sunglasses on as well. That's quite smart, and he's actually looking up as well. So that's quite a nice touch. Quite like that. What else have we got? We've got drop tanks. Well, a drop tank by the look of it. The intakes, like I say, they look okay, not really a problem. Landing gear wheels, again, nicely detailed. So again, paint them up, get a wash in there, they're going to show the detail really well. Various other struts and components, and like I say, the only flash I can see, a little bit here and there on the actual sprue, not on the actual parts, and just a little bit on the seams of the pilot, like you get on most figures, where the two halves are joined, like I said, the sides of the legs and the arms. There's a little bit there, but it's nothing to worry about. You soon get off, and it's nice to get he's not necessarily a pilot figure, but it's nice to get a figure with the kit, because you don't often get them these days. And like you say, you got the lower half of the front nose, which again is nice. So with Academy making the kit with that fuselage that way, the only little bit of filler you're probably going to need is on that front nose bit, which is exactly the way Great Wall Hobby do their kits. So that's going to save a lot of time. Just got to look it to open. Save a lot of time. It's going to look a lot better as well, because like I say, you probably need just a little bit of mist surface on the front part, just where those two nose sections go together. Right, two sprues in here. So I'm not sure what we got there. we've got two. We have two sets of horizontal stabilisers. It looks that way. And obviously the vertical stabiliser, the rudder. And again the detail, what I'll bring you right in so you can see this detail I keep going on about. So there you go, this is typical of the detail all over the aircraft. As I said, you know, not trench-like panel lines, and that riveting is really nice. Nice and crisp without being overdone, and it doesn't go vague anywhere at all. Real nice detail. Same on the vertical stabiliser and the rudder. So like I say, once you've got it painted up, put a wash in there, it's going to look absolutely superb. Really nice. I'm not sure why we've got two sets of horizontal stabilisers there. I'm not sure. Like I say, I always go through the instruction book last. Right, we've got wing pylons, which again, got that lovely detail on there. So a few sets of those. They're all nicely done. They're going to prove no problem at all. So 6 pairs of pylons. Sorry, 3 pairs of pylons. And again, that surface detail carries on those, so that's nice as well. Really good. Alright, so we've got the burner jets, the very front nose cone. Do these one at a time. This one's loose, so we'll go for that. Sorry, it's a tail, this is, isn't it? So there's the very rearmost tail section. With again, all that nice detail on there, as you can see. So again, glue this in position. Ooh, you know, and you're away. Right, we've got instrument panels, which again, I'm going to assume this has got the zoom. I think I've seen it before. Yeah, there's a zoom cockpit set with this from Eduard, but even if it's just the Academy kit, the detail is actually quite nice. You can see it, it's got raised details, so you could add dials in there if you wanted. I'm assuming the original kit would have come with decals to go in there probably, or you can paint them up, but again, you know, not bad at all. But with having the zoom set, they're just going to stick on top, and we've got various other parts there, what looks like the cowling off the top of one of the instrument display panels, and a couple of other parts as well, but they're quite nice for kit parts. So obviously I'm reviewing the kit as a whole, so I am going to comment on the whole thing, but as you know, the Academy kit goes, they're not bad at all. Right, we have got ejector seats, which again are replaced in the kit. Sidewall control consoles, which again I'll zoom in, you can have a look. May as well look at the kit parts over here. So again, they've got nice detail on them, as you can see. As to the ejector seats, to be fair, the ejector seat sides, headrest, and what have you. So the kit parts aren't too bad at all. I'm assuming these are our tyres, which do look a bit vague, to be fair, and I've seen the brassing ones, they look absolutely superb at the kit, but they are there. Various other parts, ejector seat pulls, and they're really nicely made actually. Get a good look at those, they're nice and crisp. So again, you know, I know I'm reviewing it for the Eduard kit, but the Academy kit itself is pretty damn nice, to be fair. I'm not sure the RRP on the actual Academy kit by itself, but it looks a fairly decent kit, to be fair. Right, we've got what we're going to assume is the absolute, I don't know if it's a rearmost part. I've no idea what this part is, but again, it carries all that nice riveting detail. A little bit of vague detail there, it's softened a little bit on the edge. Like there might have been a slight problem in the moulding process, but again, there's no problem. It is only a very slight, like a wispiness on the plastic, but it's not going to prove a problem at all. We've got the arrestor hook, the cans, nozzles, fans, etc. Like I say, these are all replaced in the kit by Eduard, but even for kit parts, they're not too bad. I've seen a lot worse before, can't fault that. Actually quite a lot of detail on there for kit parts. Next up we've got weapons, we'll do this one next. This is a big old sprue, so we've got the cockpit side walls, the wing tip, so we must have two sets of horizontal stabilisers like I saw before. Alright, we'll stay zoomed out for a second and then we'll come in and we'll have a good look. So I'm assuming these are the wing tips. They look like it anyway, and again that detail is carried on lovely. We've got the bottom of the cockpit itself, which obviously we've got a replacement with the kit, I think. Pretty sure we have. Sidewall detail, we've got 2 nose cones. One with the cut out for the pod underneath, I assume it is. The rear bulkheads for the cockpit, and the 2 sidewall for the front cockpit as well. Front cockpit as opposed to the rear cockpit. For the front of the fuselage as well. There's other various parts. We've got quite a nice texture part here. I'm not sure what it is, but it looks like it's purposefully textured for some reason. Again, we'll get to it in a bit when we get to instructions, but that's a nice bit of detail there, and as you can see, all that lovely riveting detail and panel lines carries on there. It's absolutely superb. Right, we've got 2 bags of missiles and bombs and what have you. So we've got 2 identical sprues, so we'll just look at one. So we've got missiles, they're moulded in 1, which is always good. You've just got the actual tail fins to add on at the back. Details fairly nice, to be fair. It's not the greatest I've seen. The likes of the Great Wall Hobby there, their missiles and what have you are superb, but we're coming for a closer look. You can see that it does have surface detail there. Like I say, it's not the best, but it's certainly there in the kit. The missiles are nice and sharp, nicely well moulded. Fins are well done as well. As 2 of these ones this side. I'm not sure of the missiles. Like I say, we'll get to those instructions a little bit, but they're all nice. There's no flash on there, no problems at all. All those parts are really well done. So far, it's well done Academy on producing an excellent base kit for this Eduard limited edition. Always a bit dubious knowing what you're going to get, because I've got the Eduard SU-27 and it's not the greatest kit, the kit that comes with the whole set, but this one, excellent. We have got pilots, that's brilliant, it's a nice touch. So we've got more drop tanks, we've got more pylons, we've got bombs, fins for the bombs, other tiny little parts. So basically you've got munitions on here. What I do like to see, that's a real nice touch, you don't get very often anymore. Got row wheels, bombs, I'll get to the other bits in a minute. We've got the pilot. So there's 2 identical sprues here, so you've got both pilots if I spin it around. So you've got the main body there, sitting, arms. So I'm assuming, yeah, you've got a multitude of poses. You've got a thumbs up on there if I spin that around so you can see. You've got a thumbs up one, and obviously hand on control stick. And then you've got 2 sets, spin it around again. You've got normal pilot with a nice cheesy grin on his face, and the pilot with his helmet on, face mask on, hose and what have you. So that's a real nice touch. If I spin it around so you can have a look. So you got a choice of pilot outside or seated, you know, seated ready to go or in flight. That's real nice. It's nice to get the 2 options of his right arm. Thumbs up, quite like that one. I'll probably choose that one myself, I think. And again, everything's beautifully moulded. There is a little bit of flash on that figure again, just on his side seams, just along the edge where he's been moulded. But there's not many figures you get that don't have that on, to be fair, you know, unless you're getting resin, and resin's got tone problems by itself. Nice to get the pilots, you don't often get them anymore, so it is always a nice bonus to get them. And everything else is just beautifully moulded. I'm quite impressed for an Academy kit. It is really, really nice, really well made. Clear parts, this will always tell you a lot about a kit. So let's see what we get. I think I can see a seam line, which isn't a problem. It's always nicer to not get them, but it's no real drama. So yeah, it's a very, very slight seam line, like virtually nothing. Clarity, give it a wipe. Right, I gotta admit, it's not the clearest of canopies. I might come in again, see if we can get to focus. There's quite a bit of distortion through there. There is quite a lot, especially on this part here. The front part exactly the same. It's just not the clearest plastic. And I'm not talking about magnification, I'm talking about clarity. it's just not the best I've seen. It's not the worst by all means, but this is going to be the kit's downfall most probably. There's a very, very slight seam, and I mean literally very, very slight, that needs removing. The front part, again, does suffer with that clarity problem again. I don't know if you can see it on the lines on my desk. It is magnified a bit, which it's going to, but it's the clarity that it's lacking on a little bit. It's not the clearest of plastic. And obviously we've got various other clear parts for navigation lights and what have you. So that's the only bad point I've spotted so far on the kit, is the glass. It's one of those things, no kit's perfect. Now, I've got a nice box with Eduard Resin written on the front. A bit of information on the back. Basically warning labels, don't eat the box, you know, don't bury your hamster in the box and what have you. Not that you do that really, but you never know. Nicely packed in foam, top and bottom, which is good. And we'll get everything out and have a little look what we see. Right, so start with the back. We've got the replacement resin nozzles, fans, etc. So again, quite a nice detail inside there. If you guys can see right down there. There's not much to see really, to be honest, but once these are cut off and tidied up, it's going to look a lot better than the kit part. There is quite a bit of detail in there, to be fair, but it's quite hard to show you. You can really see the ribbed effect in there. That is quite nice, to be fair. We've got the actual nozzles themselves, which are beautifully cast. If I zoom in, for you to have a look, really well detailed, nicely cast. They are absolutely superb, and again, once cut off, my usual trick for these is use Mr. Hobby's buffer balls, metallizers, give them a paint up, give them a buff up, and you get all the raised surfaces polished, all the inner surfaces are left dull, and it gives a real nice effect, and they're going to come up absolutely superb, because the detail on those is absolutely phenomenal. This is the detail you get with resin parts that you can't always get with plastic, and they're going to add a lot of detail to that kit. And we got the fans again, nicely detailed, nice thin blades, and some nice detail inside as well. So again, get them painted up, bit of a wash in there to give them some depth and interest, and they're going to look absolutely superb. So there's one bag, we'll pop those over there for now. Second bag, we've got landing gear wheels. I've seen pictures of these and these look absolutely stunning, so we'll just grab one of each. Obviously there's a set of 4. Detail is absolutely beautiful on those. You can see those, this is one side. So again, you've got your tyre tread built in there, so once you've got them painted up, get a bit of a wash in there, something like UMP's concrete wash in there. That's going to bring them out a treat. Get a darker dirt wash in there in the middle. That's going to show off all the detail inside. You've even got writing on the sidewalls of the tyre as well. I can't quite make out what it says. I don't think it actually says anything, but the impression that it's there is really good. Inside, the surface detail is really nice as well. Can't fault that at all. Like I say, that is the detail you get with resin parts. And again, the front ones, absolutely stunning as well. Surface detail is absolutely beautiful on those. Tyre tread, the writing again, right down through to the detail in the middle. So again, once the wash is in there, it's going to look absolutely stunning. Oh, last bag, and I haven't quite opened it properly. As you do. So in here we've got ejector seats. So we're keeping the kit cockpit by the look of it. We're replacing the ejector seats, they look absolutely superb. Various other parts, I can pretend to know what they are. But the detail is really nice. They look like seat belts to me. Possibility, we'll see in a bit. Like I say, the seats are beautifully detailed. Really, really well cast. And they're going to look absolutely superb onto them in that cockpit, especially with that zoom etch set. It's going to make an absolutely beautiful cockpit. It really is. So they're a massive improvement over the kit ones. The kit ones are not too bad, but obviously these are in one piece, just, you know, razor saw the bottom off. Obviously be aware when using resin it's highly carcinogenic, so make sure you're in a well ventilated room. Don't be breathing any of the dust or the particles, because it will do some long-term damage to you, that's for sure. But that's a beautiful seat, real nice. Two of those. We've got what look like, I have absolutely no idea. Again, we'll get into a bit with the instructions, but they're really well cast again. Really nicely done. And again, like I keep saying, it's just detail you can't get with plastic. Various other parts, no idea what they are, but they're all well cast. They're a little bit tricky to cut off, and in fact I think a couple of mine have actually snapped off. Yep, they have, they're on the workbench. Yeah, I'm not sure what they are, but I've lost 3 of them, which is a bit of a shame. I think I'll contact Eduard over that, because I don't even know what they are, but if they're individual pieces I'll see if I can find them all. I'll put them back in the bag. I've got one. There's one there. We'll sort that out anyway. And then these look to me like seatbelt latches. And again, nicely detailed. They're going to be nice and tricky to get off there. I think they are anyway. I've gone in blind with the kit. But again, excellent surface detail. Very nice. There's all the resin parts, so they're beautifully made. I'm just going to very quickly find these 3 parts, and we'll come back and go through the instruction book and the decals, etc. Right, let's have a look for all this first. We'll go through the instruction book last. Have a quick look at all the photo etch and what have you. What we've got in here, I'm not going to open it because we've all seen these before. It's a pre-cut mask set. So you've got your actually we will open that because they're really nice. I forgot they were in here. Right. So like I say, we've got the pre-cut mask set in there. So all your canopies laser cut, ready to just peel off and stick on, which is fantastic. We've got a bit of acetate for the head-up display on the front. So that's that bag, and then we've got, I forgot these were with the kit, we've got the fabric harnesses and seat belts, which, if I just zoom into a quick look, they look absolutely superb. They look absolutely stunning. They're going to add a hell of a lot of detail. How easy they're going to be to glue in position and what have you, I don't know. They shouldn't be. Use a bit of white glue, a bit of PVA, or super glue if you're that way inclined. I'll probably use PVA because it's a bit safer and a bit softer to use. But that detail is absolutely beautiful on those. Really are wafer thin. Absolutely beautiful. So that's a nice added bonus. So no photo etch to anneal and try and bend in position for those. So that's real nice. Absolutely superb addition to the kit. Next up, have a look at the photo etch. So it's in a sealed little baggie. If I can open it, there we go. So we'll go through the actual main photo etch fret for the kit. And we've got the zoom kit there as well. So, man, I don't lose my white balance. So we've got various parts there, and the photo etch is top quality. Really is superbly made. All these detail parts can add a hell of a lot of interest to the kit. Going to add absolute ton of detail to it, and they're all superbly made. Very, very nice. If you just come in a little bit closer to some of these detail parts, you can see they're going to add a hell of a lot of detail. Absolutely superb. As always with Eduard, top class photo etch. Always is, and that's going to just make this model absolutely pop. It really is. I'll pop that one in there, safe. And then we've got the zoom set for the cockpit, which, wow, again, absolutely top drawer. I can do this without losing the white balance. We have lost it a little bit. So you got all the consoles, the side consoles, instrument displays. Absolutely lovely. Really are nice, right down to the ejector seat pulls, which are absolutely stunning. Look how thin. I can get the white balance back. Here we go. Look how thin they are there. Absolutely beautiful. Really, really nice. It's going to add a hell of a lot of details to that cockpit. That's going to absolutely make it look superb. It's going to look real nice. Right, decal sheet feels nice and thick. I'm not sure how many sets we've got in here. But I know the F4 does have a lot of stencils on it. So we'll have a little look, see what we get. I'm going to take this back out. Hopefully get our white bounce back. There we go. Right, so we've got two sheets. We've got the actual markings themselves and the stencil data, which there is a lot of. You've got the main colours for the top around the cockpit and what have you. Two different colours for two different markings. It can be quite tricky to get in position because of the size of them, but I've done a Hasegawa one. Definitely real markings. Quite a lot of stencil data there. Each one of those black circles is a decal. So there's got to be a few hundred there. And again, they're the access door markings on the kit. Structural markings and notes. Again, really nice. They're satin. They're not matte and they're not gloss. They're like a satin decal. They're all in register. Really, really nice. Again, I can't see any problems there other than the sheer number of them. And then at the bottom we've got the surface and precaution markings. US Air Force stars are nice and registered, nicely coloured as well, real deep colouring on those. And again, it's more of a satin. If you can see the light catching, the backing paper is gloss with actual decals of satin colour. So again, they shouldn't give you any details at all. Cartograph decals, so they more than likely will just go down. Absolutely superb. Fantastic. A lot of stenciling, but that shouldn't be a real problem. And then we've got the actual individual markings themselves as well. So we've got US Midway, US Coral Sea, USS Independence. So you've got a good variation of markings there. Good choice. This one will look absolutely fantastic. Sharkmouth, you can't beat Sharkmouth aircraft. Look absolutely superb, and again, all in register, all beautifully coloured. Same satin again as well. I like the one with the rattlesnake on. It's quite smart as well. I assume it's a rattlesnake. Yep, it is. So they are top quality decals. Really nice, and you know, these and the resin and the photo etch are the extras you're paying for on the kit. And this is what we're going to make the kit superb. So you've got a good choice of decals. We'll go through all the schemes and in for the instruction book. But they are, I'm quite impressed by those. They're really, really nice. So we'll put those away safely. Very sticky backing paper. It's actually just, I can feel it grip into my actual skin as I touch them. Right, so we're on to the instructions. I think that's the very last thing in the kit. Yes, it is. So, unless there's something else hidden in here, which there isn't. Right, so from the instructions, we've got a bit of history. It's all in English. Basically starts off saying it was introduced in 1960, replacing the Skyray and Demon, the Navy's all-weather missile interceptors, second in the Phantom 2 series, and had the more powerful General Electric G79-GE-8 engines. Top speed of Mach 2.2, which set many records in the late 1950s, carry a lot of ordnance. Crewed by a pilot and radar intercept officer, or a weapons system officer, depending if it was Navy or Marines, and just goes through to say when various when they were drafted into service, when various squadrons got them, and that's it. Total of 649 F4Bs were built by McDonnell Douglas, with a production run lasting from 1961 to 1966. So that's it, just basic information on the front, nothing, you know, overly interesting there. Now somebody asked me yesterday, I think it was Tiger131, was it Tiger or was it Dave? It was Tammy a Snob, I'm sure it was. Somebody asked me yesterday to make sure I called the colour out, so there they are there. So if you can see them, pause them, you can have a read at your own leisure, and I'll read through them in a second. So there you go. So basically your call outs for Mr. Hobby Accurus and Mr. Hobby Mr. Colour, which is great. Everyone I've seen so far that has Mr. Colour usually has another paint call out as well, so it's nice to get the actual Accurus, because I use the Accurus because the Mr. Colour is not really available in the UK. I think it's vice versa in the States. So it's nice to get. So you basically need black, red, silver, flat black, flat red, tyre black, olive drab, white, grey, grey, yellow, stainless and dark iron. So the last two will be for the nozzles and what have you. So it's H2, H3, H8, H12, H13, H77, 304, 316, 317, 325 and 329. And then the Mr. Metal colour, where I've got the buffer balls, are 213 and 214. So they're all the paint colours in the kit. I've got these in Mr. Hobby, and I've also just bought the ACAM paints in the actual US Navy colours. So not too sure which one I'll use. I'm going to intermix between. Now what you're going to get through the kit, you're going to get the actual Academy kit where that's built, and then it's going to give you the extras to add or replace parts for the Eduard bits. But the nice clear instructions as always. They're not very busy. There's just a few steps per stage, which is always good, because if you get too many in, you can leave bits out by accident. And it, it's quite clear and concise all the way through to the engine. So you basically got all the components there in the new brassing parts, which I've just remembered. It runs through there at the beginning, all the parts list, as well as the brassing extras, the photo etch, the mask, textile parts. So you've got a full run through of all your kit parts in there. So again, if you want to have a look, I can get it all in shot for you. There you go. There's all the parts of the kit. So you get a lot for your money. I mean, the RRP in this kit is around the £70 mark. So it's not the cheapest of kits, but you get a lot for your money, and it is going to build up to be a stunning F4. Like I said, if you buy Hasegawa, they're £50+. To add all this resin extra, it's going to cost you an absolute fortune to add it all. Running through, we've got the intakes, to the front cockpit section, attaching the upper and lower fuselage together. That's superb. It's going to save a lot of filling, because you shouldn't have any filler on there whatsoever. The only bit you might get is just here where these parts join, and that's going to save a lot of time. And obviously you may get a little bit around the nose as well. Obviously you've got your choice of your noses. So with this one, with that pod on the front, it's that one I showed before. Adding instrument display cowlings, the rear end with the arrestor hook, horizontal stabilizers. So there must be two pairs. Yeah, H3 and H2. So there's two different ones for the different markings, obviously, and the wingtips like we saw before. So I was right, there are two versions of the horizontal stabilizers. Landing gear, again with the brassing extras. That's nice. You even get the wheel masks, which is always good. It's going to save you a bit of time. So that's nice to get. So it's going to speed up your spraying process on the wheels. Ejector seats. Running through. I had a feeling they were the head restraints, those parts before, but didn't want to commit to saying. But they are. So they fit on top. So the two parts we had with the seats together are those. They're going to look absolutely stunning with that photo etch on, and those fabric belts. They're going to be like a work of art. They are. They're going to be real nice. Through to the canopies. So there's quite a bit to attach to the canopies, photo much and what have you. Your seats. Choosing if you're going to have the canopy open or closed, but obviously you can do that at a later date if you want as well. Ejector seat. Just looking at that. Right, so this is a part you must have to install after the seat's in. It's a photo etch part. And then you got your weapons call outs, so the mounting arms. So you got all various call outs for different weapons. It certainly carries a lot of ordnance, I'll give it that. Absolute ton of it. So yeah, you got your various call outs for all your weaponry, and then we're on to the decal sheets. The colour call outs and decal sheets. Right, so first one's Jolly Rogers VF-84 from USS Independence, 1965. It's an iconic scheme. I've seen that quite a lot on the Phantom, and it's quite a nice decal call out as well, with the skull and crossbones on the tail section. So that's a nice one. You then got the Marines from Da Nang Air Base, South Vietnam, so obviously where the kit gets its name from. Again, got the Tiger on it. The various parts, and have you just used outside. Sounds like somebody's doing some work somewhere. Then on to the Death Rattlers. So I was right, it is a Rattler from Chu Lao Air Base, South Vietnam, 1967. So those two have got a black nose cone. This one's got a white. So that's quite a nice one. And again, nothing really distinctive on there other than the Rattler on the tail. Sorry. Other than the Rattler on the tail, there's nothing really distinctive about that one. This one's quite a smart one with the lightning bolt on the tail. And that's USS Midway Chargers, hence the lightning bolt. And it's got a very snazzy rainbow effect US Midway decal on there as well. I'm not sure which one of these are going to do. I do like this one down. I just think it's a real nice scheme. That's got the tiger mouth on it, shark's mouth on it as well. That's a very nice scheme, that one. That's going to be a tough choice. And obviously on the back we've got the stencil one we get to in a minute. Decal schemes. I built a Jolly Rogers before. Hard tempted by the Da Nang one, seeing as it's the kit's name. Not too keen on the rattlers. It'll either be the Da Nang or the Sundowners from the US Coral Sea for me, because I do like that. That's really smart. I don't think you can go wrong with any of these. They all look really nice. And then obviously we've got the stencil data as well. So like I say, the stencils are going to keep you busy for quite some time. Let me get that light off, reflecting a little bit. They're going to keep you busy for quite some time, especially the top and bottom surfaces. There's quite a lot there. I've decaled up an F4 before, and I know there's a lot on there. And that's it, and there you go. So we've got good on Da Nang stencils. So I'm assuming this is stencil variant. So if there's any differences, you must record that on the back page. So again, that's good. But you have to be aware of this when you're building it, to go back and refer to it, obviously. So there we go. There's Eduard's Good Morning Da Nang. Looks excellent kit. The Academy kit itself as a base kit looks superb. It looks like going to build it to be a nice kit on its own. With all these resin, Photo S extras, it's just going to make it an absolutely superb kit. Looking forward to building that. When we'll build it, it'll be sometime this year, definitely. It's going to look a stunning kit. So if you're looking for an F4 Phantom, you won't go wrong with that at all. I got this from Value Kits, Facebook group page. So go see them if you're looking for one. I've got this quite early, I think. I haven't seen any actually released yet. And that's it really. So if you're looking for an F4, go and have a look at this one, because it looks an absolutely superb kit. And that's it. So Paul from ISM, thanks for watching, take care, and I'll see you guys on the forums.